What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rabbits Used Cars. I know what you're saying. I know why you're here. You're not here for this face. You're here for this honey over gravel to tell you a good, entertaining story to get you through your work day. You know what? You can just call me the postman because I deliver. Crazy the things that remind you of silly situations you get dragged into. Have you ever noticed that? You know, and I'm sure some of you are that guy, that you always get that phone call when the shit hits the fan, that they call you up with their disaster. Well, out dinner with some friends, and we got talking about this certain situation that I'm about to tell you about. So their son, who's a great guy, married now, got kids, straight up individual. But in his younger days, he's a little wild. And he was a cameraman for a Christian television network. And when he clocked out, he might have strayed from the path a little bit. And hey, I was young, been there. Hell, I'm still there sometimes. Especially with Matt, he's a bad influence. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I pray for him every night. He had went out the night before and you're bar hopping, having a good old time. Shut the bars down. And he came home. There was only one problem. He woke up and his car wasn't there. And he didn't know where he left it. And he knew the last place he wasn't a bar. Scary. Made it home safe. We have a general idea of the vicinity he was in. So they called me that next morning. I'm like the go-to guy for some reason when you need things done. Keep in mind, with a diesel truck shop, we work on every record in town. And in Greenville, we have zones. You know, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, yada, yada, yada. Well, you know, they have rotations for these records, and you got certain records that work these different zones. And I'll be honest with you, hell, I can just about tell you off the top of my head who works what, when, whatever. So they called me up and they said, we can't find his car. And he has like no idea where it's at. But time is of the essence because we're 90% sure he didn't leave it in the parking lot. Because he walked home. So we're assuming, we don't know where it's at. Can you help us find it? I'm thinking, we better find it before the police finds it, if it's something bad. So I get on my phone, kind of knew the area, the zone they were in. Just so happens the guy working rotation that week was a good friend of mine, worked on their trucks, and then I knew the drivers. Called him up and said, hey, I need you to look for this Volvo. And it's liable to be anywhere. I said, it might be in a parking lot, it might be in somebody's driveway, it might be in a ditch. Hell, it might be in front of a tree. There's no telling. It might be on its roof somewhere. And it was almost kind of like an episode of The Hangover because they kept calling me back, giving me clues. And he says he remembers going to the liquor store and he's got a bruise on his head. Call my buddy back, looking for a wrecked Volvo in this general area. And he said, well, we'll keep our eyes peeled. And probably about 20 minutes later, I get a phone call. He goes, I think we found your car. And I said, really? And I said, please tell me it's all right. He said, I'm loading it up now. And he goes, you're very lucky. And I said, what do you mean lucky? He said, well, he crammed it in a ditch in front of somebody's house. And it was literally hanging straight up. He said, literally one wheel was up in the air. Killed that right front on his Volvo. And he goes, that probably explains the bruise and the cut mark, which was a seatbelt mark on his neck when it went into the ditch. He goes, this thing is full of beer bottles and cans and things like that. And he goes, I'm gonna get this thing loaded. And he said, I'm bringing it to you and I want it off my damn truck. And you owe me. So I got you covered, bud. Next service on me. Got you. The moral of the story is you don't need to drink and drive. I'm glad I was able to save my buddy and keep him from getting in trouble, whatever. And nobody got hurt, I mean, other than Volvo, and which wasn't no big loss either. But don't do dumb things. But it's so funny how you get suckered into this stuff. Like, that's what I love most. Everybody asks me, like your job, like you go to work and you like, I've never known that. It's always the most random questions or the most random requests or the most, from hiding a body to finding a damn Volvo and everything in between. I mean, it's just insane. Maybe not hiding the body, wink. But it keeps it interesting, and we're laughing. And this guy's growing up now. Like I said, he's got a wife, kids. It really has become a jam-up guy all the way around over the years. But I still like to remind him of his hangover moment. Definitely the calls. It was interesting at the time, but I'm so glad those calls I don't get so much anymore. Speaking of wilder times, me and old Matt got to beat the lunch rush down at the Hooters. Guys, we'll catch you next time at Rabbit's Used Cars. Maybe not hiding the body, wink. But lots of lime. Remember that. Matt's laughing. But it keeps it interesting.
Take 26.
Oh, that was painful. We ready? Everything on?
Everything.
All the I's are dotted and the lowercase T's crossed.
We are recording.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty over there.